Good morning, Steve Jolly with Benchmark Realty, and I want to welcome you to the Music City Show for Thursday, July 22nd, 2020. Thank you guys for tuning in this morning. I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to all the loyal viewers who tune in every Thursday morning around 8:15 to catch the Music City Show. And I want to welcome anybody who hasn't had a chance to see this show yet. If this is your first time, thank you for showing up and tuning in. Well, today I wanted to talk to you about magnetic marketing, the kind of marketing that attracts lots of buyers and sellers. And the reason why you want to attract lots of buyers and sellers is because that's what helps you get the highest price for your home. And that's what also helps you sell it quickly. It's that competition that really does it. So it's real important to have a good marketing foundation for when you go to sell your property. And so this is how we do it. But before we talk about how we do it, I want to talk about one area where real estate agents are guilty in. Well, let me back up first. I want to tell you a story first. And this story comes from Dan Kennedy, who's one of the most renowned marketers in the world. He's been renowned for a long time. And he tells a story about sitting on a beach in Hawaii, just watching the waves roll in. And while he's sitting there, an old man pulls up in a pickup truck. He goes around back. He pulls 12 fishing lines or 12 fishing poles out of his truck. He baits each hook and he casts them all into the sea. And so Dan must have thought, this guy must really love fishing if he's using 12 poles. So he goes and asks him, why he's doing that. And the man said, well, I love fishing, but I love eating even more than I do fishing. And he said, if I came out here and I cast 12 lines in the water, by sunset, not every one of them is going to catch a fish, but a few of them will. And so I'll have a couple to eat and I'll have a couple to sell to restaurants. He said, if I only cast one or two lines in the ocean, by sunset, some nights I would go hungry. And that is a mistake that a lot of real estate agents make, and they're guilty of, because they don't do enough marketing. The typical real estate agent puts a sign in the yard, they list the home in the MLS, and then they wait for their phone to ring. It's just not a good plan. It's just not really one that's going to help sell your home, and it's one that anybody could do. Anybody can really do this. It doesn't take any special skill to sell your home this way. So I want to talk to you about a few things that we do different, and then the results we've gotten out of those lately. So one of the first things we do that I think is better than anybody else in Nashville, and it's probably world class, it's probably some of the best you'll see around, is the way that we use digital marketing, especially Google and Facebook ads. And with those ads, we're able to drop thousands of lines in the water to catch more fish. So we're not just fishing with one line, our real estate sign, or with two lines, putting it in the MLS and a sign. We're casting thousands of lines out there. But in addition to that advertising that we're doing, we have a huge email list. We have 5,058 hungry buyers on that email list today that get news and stories from me, and then go and see what the properties we have for sale. And then in addition to that, we have thousands of visitors that come to our website every month just to see what we have to sell. That really sets us apart from a lot of other folks, and this is what the results that you can expect to see from them. So first of all, over the last year, using this type of advertising, we've reached 24,562 more buyers than we would have otherwise. So that's thousands and thousands of lines out in the water. What that has turned into is a minimum we've seen so far of 128% increase in showings. So when we look at the showings our listings have with this advertising, we're advertising the list. We're not advertising ourselves, we're advertising your listing. And with that, and when we compare it to homes in your area at a similar price range, we're seeing 128% increase all the way up to over 550% increase. And we're getting huge customer satisfaction. In fact, I got a review on Google just a few weeks ago from a client. Said even during the middle of COVID-19, Steve was able to use digital marketing to sell our home quickly, and they were very satisfied. I'm paraphrasing there a little bit, but you can go to my Google My Business page and you can see that for yourself. So those are the results we're getting because we are advertising ourselves, but in addition to that, we are also advertising our listings, your homes for sale. And we're doing that because we want you to receive the benefits of selling your property quickly at the best price possible. So that's our goal. That's how we want to serve you. So now we've gotten through that, let's take a look at the market update for the week. And so sales are still heading up, which that is a really, really good sign. This is the time of year we expect to peak. June usually is typically when we peak. But because of the delay we had earlier in the season, I'm expecting us to peak in July. And I'll tell you exactly why in a minute. But right now we are about 4% ahead in terms of sales compared to where we were at the same point in June. So I expect we'll have the peak number of sales in July. And I think August will be really close to that, but I think it'll be slightly below. We'll get into that more in a minute. So looking at new listings, although they're up from where they were back in March and April, we've kind of seemed to hit a plateau over the last 4 to 6 weeks. And this is typically the time of year when we see that. But I'm hoping that we can get more new listings in the market because we truly need them, because there's a huge demand for people to buy properties. It's being driven by people moving into our area. It's being driven by the low interest rates. It's being driven by pent-up demand. So we really need to see more new listings. If you're thinking about selling your home, you have any questions, you can always reach out to me at 615-257-9996. Showings, still a strong demand. We saw a dip around July 4th holiday, but we still a strong demand, and we'll keep an eye on that because I expect that'll stay that way at least through July, and then start to taper off in August as we start to slow down through the end of the year. And then homes under contract, we're still seeing those increasing, which is a good sign. That just tells us there's a huge demand out there for home buying. The limiting factor is the number of new listings that are hitting the market. So we really need more of those. If you're thinking about selling your home, keep that in mind. And then also to keep up to date with the pricing, it still seems to be going up. Looking at the median price for July so far, we're at $330,000, which is significantly higher than we were in June, and it's our peak for the last 15 months. And I think as long as demand stays high and inventory stays low, we're going to see that price continue to go up. So we'll keep an eye on that for you too. But with more than half the sales in for the month of July, I expect that at the end of the month we'll be really close to $330,000 for our median price. If you like looking at data, or you want to catch on some of the past shows, or see what other information I have that's valuable to you guys, you can always go to musiccityshow.com. All that information is there. You can see the interactive charts for everything I've shown you today. You can see this story again if you want to watch it again, or you can see some of the past stories I've shared with you. And then here's what we're going to be talking about next week on the Music City Show. And we're going to be talking about negotiation and why that's so important when you go to sell your home. And I want to talk about why a win-win is a loss for you. Because meeting in the middle is a very common negotiation strategy, but it's not a really good one. And I think there's a better way to do it. And I'll tell you more about that next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate my loyal viewers for the Music City Show. And I really want you guys to have an awesome week. Take care. Peace and love, y'all.